We have just studied the non-cyclic photophosphorylation or light reaction. We know that there are two types of light reactions. One is the non-cyclic and the other type of the light reaction is called as the cyclic light reaction or cyclic photophosphorylation. So let us now study about the cyclic photophosphorylation. Sunlight, which is incident on the leaves, is absorbed at the light harvesting complex, which contains a set of pigments as mentioned below. Now this light harvesting complex is of the photosystem 1 type. So the sunlight which is absorbed is of 700 nanometers. So we can see that the sunlight is absorbed here at light harvesting complex. We know that when sunlight is absorbed, two electrons get excited. They absorb the sun's energy and they go to a higher energy state. So we will show that by the upward arrow. So two electrons get excited. These two electrons are then captured by the electron acceptor and channelized through a cascade of reactions of the electron transport system. So you have the ETS or the electron transport system. We know that in the ETS, the energy of these two electrons is utilized. Okay? For what purpose? To convert ADP to ATP. Now these two electrons, they themselves are not used in this reaction, but only their energy is utilized. So they lose their energy and come back to the ground state and come back to the photosystem 1. Okay, they come back to the photosystem 1. And therefore, this kind of a photophosphorylation which starts with photosystem 1, you can see two electrons get excited, go to the high energy state, channelize to the ETS and then return back in the ground state to photosystem 1. So this is a cyclic photophosphorylation. Okay, so we know that light reaction or photophosphorylation are of two types. It could be non-cyclic or the Z scheme, or it could be the cyclic type. In both of these, the similarity is that light energy is absorbed by photosystems having light harvesting pigments, and this energy is used to produce chemical energy, or light energy is converted to chemical energy. So you can see here in the cyclic reaction also ATP is formed, which is a form of chemical energy. Okay. Now what is the difference between the two? In light reaction, you have two photosystems. In the non-cyclic one, there are two photosystems. In the cyclic, there is only one photosystem. In the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, there are two types of lights from the sun which are absorbed. One of 680 nanometers, the other one of 700 nanometers. But in cyclic, there is only one type of sunlight, that is 700 nanometer wavelength sunlight is absorbed. In the non-cyclic, the two electrons which are excited are finally used up. You can see they are used up here to form NADPH. So this photosystem 2 requires a constant supply of two electrons, and this comes from the splitting of water molecule. Okay? Whereas in the cyclic photophosphorylation, the photosystem does not require a constant supply of two electrons, because the 2 electrons which leave from this photosystem come back to this photosystem. Okay? Another difference is that you can see that in the non-cyclic photophosphorylation, ATP is formed as well as NADPH. Whereas in the cyclic photophosphorylation, there is only ATP type of chemical energy formed.